So, Roland and I went to high school, Mercy High School, with Tom Hanks' little brother, Jim Hanks. You guys know who Jim Hanks is, right? Oh, see, now that's not good. Because I saw him at a party a couple of months ago, and I told him, every time I mention your name at a show, the great Jim Hanks from Mercy High School in Red Bluff, the crowd goes crazy! Wait, so I'm going to be sending him a copy of this tape, so let's try that again. Hey, you guys know the great Jim Hanks, right? Of course. He's very underutilized. He's kind of like the Jerry Van Dyke of our generation, actually. Or maybe the Clint Howard of our generation, since Ron Howard's mom's also from Red Bluff. That would be more apt, I suppose. Clint Howard, you know, Ron Howard's ugly little brother, Gentle Ben, right? I know you people are not that young. Anyway, so, according to internet rumors, which are the only thing I believe, Jim Hanks was actually the inspiration for the way Tom played Forrest Gump in the movie. I know, sounds insulting at first, doesn't it? But if I do remember correctly, that Jim, when he wanted to make people laugh when he would come in or out of a room, he would do it like this. That's true, and we always thought that was funny, but we never thought to make it into a movie. Why, Tom is a genius. And Jim was also in that movie, Forrest Gump, in the scenes where they would show him running, and he had the beard, and they'd just pull back long distance. That was Jim, running across the beautiful sunset and stuff, just like when he was in Red Bluff. He used to jog all over town with his faithful black lab at his side, beautiful diversion dam in the background, or whatever, and he'd be like, come on, kitty, dog poop is like a box of chocolates. And Jim was actually supposed to be in one of our very first shows in the late 70s, but he got a better offer from Tom, headed south, never to be seen again. Until a couple of months ago, when another friend from high school called me up. He said, Jim's going to be in town visiting his sick mom for Christmas. He'd really like to get together with some old friends from high school. And I thought, man, this is my chance to catch up with someone from my youth who is much more successful at living my dream than I am. How could I pass that up? So I got drunk and I went. And, the thing about Jim Hanks, he is and always has been a sweet, genuine guy, but he always has kind of looked like Tom Hanks' ugly little brother. So, well, at least he used to. But now he got his teeth all fixed, he's just got a stand-up straight yoga body, bald by choice, with a perfect bum-free noggin, wearing the motorcycle clothes. And I was going to call him a Hollywood sellout, but it turns out he's been married to the same woman for 25 years. He's got a grown son who loves and respects him. He's home visiting his sick mom for Christmas, for Christ's sakes. He's like a Tom Hanks movie. But still, at this party, I asked him the one question everybody else was afraid to ask him. About like what it's like to live in his brother's shadow. And it was a perfect time for me to ask, because it was the time of year that when Jim would go outside, if he still sees Tom's shadow, 6 more weeks of Joe versus the Volcano on TBS. So I went up and I asked him, Jim, don't you get tired of people being extremely loud and incredibly close as they volunteer endless punchlines about how come you never made a big splash like Apollo 13? Do you feel like a castaway in a league of your own? Do you have to go the extra green mile in Charlie Wilson's Cars because you and Tom have nothing in common besides the endless Toy Story money pit? Or every time you say goodbye, do you sit alone at the terminal in the burbs, wishing that you'd polar expressed your feelings that you and Tom should be more like a band of brothers or bosom buddies like Turner and Hooch? Are you sleepless in Seattle when you'd rather be in Philadelphia? Oh. Is life a dragnet because your Larry crowning achievement is that you got mail from the great lady killer Buck Howard? And what about Tom? Does he just say, catch me if you can, Jim? The man with 2 gold shoes has left the building and will be riding his radio flyer through mazes and monsters of fallen angels and demons on the road to rescue Private Ryan from the bonfire of the bachelor parties. Da Vinci Code, I don't know that. That's like half of them. We couldn't even. So anyway, Jim does look a lot like Tom. He also sounds a lot like Tom, which means he gets a lot of voiceover work. And that's great because he can walk around Hollywood without being recognized, except as Tom, of course. People are always coming up to him, "Hey, you Tom Hanks?" "No, I'm his brother Jim." "Well, you sound a lot like Tom Hanks." "Well, that's because I'm his brother Jim." "Well, could you sign my wife's tit anyway?" "And could you sign it, Tom?" He's got to live with that, you know? But the voice thing is great because when Tom does a movie like Toy Story, you know, he does the voice for the movie, and then Jim does the voice for all the toys and video games and stuff like that. And so he's also the voice of Woody the Cowboy. And I wonder if that leads to some fights sometime. Because like Jim could be recording something and Tom would be like, "You know, I don't think Woody would say the voice that way." And Jim would be like, "Well, if you care so much about this character, maybe you should do the voice for the vibrator." I'm kidding. There is no Woody the Cowboy vibrator. Though it sounds like there should be. And there is a Buzz Lightyear, though. Yeah, I think Tim Allen's ugly little brother does the voice, actually.